Look up at the sky tonight and just look at the moon. It has been our silent, faithful companion, hanging safely above us for over 4 billion years. Every single night of human history, it was just there. But now, imagine the impossible. It starts to move, not across the night sky like it always has, but directly toward us, coming closer every single second. At first, the world goes on as usual. No one notices a thing. Even the top astronomers dismiss the early data as a simple computer error. After all, the moon cannot just fall. But within 72 hours, nature itself begins to panic. The ocean tides stop making sense. Coastal cities watch in terror as waves rise without warning, and violent earthquakes strike lands that have been peaceful for centuries. When you step outside and look up, the soft, romantic light is gone. The moon has become a giant silver wall, swallowing half the horizon, turning our nights into a living nightmare. This is not a movie plot. This is exactly what the laws of physics tell us would happen if that delicate cosmic balance ever snapped. By the end of this story, you will feel what it is like to watch the sky become our ultimate enemy. We will break it down hour by hour, continent by continent, leading up to the terrifying final moment. We rarely think about the moon as something dangerous. To most of us, it is just a beautiful part of our childhood memories. It is the subject of old poetry and that soft, calm light reflecting over a quiet lake on a warm summer night. We take it for granted, seeing it up there every single time we look out our windows. But scientists who study the deep laws of space know a dark truth that most of us never even consider. The moon is not just a cold, dead rock floating out there in the dark sky. It is actually the invisible hand that holds our world together. It is what keeps our vast oceans in place, stabilizes the very tilt of our planet so we can have normal seasons, and quietly protects Earth from a cosmic chaos that we can barely comprehend. Think about it. If you suddenly remove that protective hand, or even worse, if you throw it directly toward us, every single thing we know changes instantly. Every rule, every building, and every city we have built since the dawn of human civilization will simply collapse into dust. This is no longer just a fascinating thought experiment you scroll past on the internet. It is a chilling question that forces us to stop, look at the world around us, and realize just how incredibly fragile our entire existence really is. It makes you wonder, in those final, desperate hours, what will we do when the sky we always loved turns into our greatest enemy? Let us say, just for a moment, that gravity's delicate balance shifts and the moon begins a slow, silent spiral inward. At first, almost nothing changes. You could step outside on a quiet night, look up, and everything would seem perfectly normal. A father could be pointing out the craters to his daughter through a backyard telescope, completely unaware that something is terribly wrong. After all, the moon is normally about 238,000 miles away. Even a massive shift wouldn't show up to the naked eye in a single night. But behind closed doors, astronomers would be staring at their screens in absolute shock. The experts who track the moon's exact position using lasers bounced off mirrors left behind by the Apollo astronauts would notice the numbers drifting. On day 1, the distance is off by a few hundred miles. It is strange, maybe a glitch, but explainable. By day 3, it is off by thousands of miles. And by day 7, there is no denying the terrifying truth anymore. The moon is getting closer, and it is speeding up. Interestingly, the very first warning sign wouldn't be what we see in the sky, But what happens to our oceans? As the moon creeps closer, its gravitational pull grows stronger. High tides climb higher than ever before, while low tides drop to shocking depths. Imagine coastal towns waking up to find water rushing into streets that have been dry for generations, and old fishermen staring in disbelief as the ocean swallows docks that have stood for 100 years. Nobody is panicking out loud just yet, not quite, but deep inside mountain observatories from Hawaii to Chile, scientists are running their simulation models again and again, their hands shaking as the numbers keep getting worse. 2 weeks into this cosmic crisis, and the moon now appears visibly larger in the sky. It is not a massive jump yet, but it is enough that regular people start noticing. Shaky smartphone videos go viral online, and social media live streams are flooded with millions of terrified comments asking the exact same question. And then, the earthquakes begin. These are not happening along the usual tectonic fault lines, but in peaceful cities that have been geologically stable for centuries. You see, the moon's crushing gravity does not just pull the ocean water, it literally stretches the solid Earth itself. The very ground beneath our feet begins to bend and crack under the intense gravitational stress. Scientists call this a solid tide. Normally, it is completely harmless and only moves the ground by a few inches. But now, the Earth is flexing by several feet. By this point, global governments are fully aware of the disaster. Top leaders hold tents, emergency meetings behind closed doors, but they face an impossible choice. Telling 8 billion people that the moon is falling would trigger absolute global chaos. The immediate panic in the streets would be far more dangerous than gravity itself. But the real truth, hiding in the shadows, is much darker than anyone could have imagined. As top scientists recalculate the orbit, they discover a nightmare scenario. The moon is not drifting closer in a safe, straight line. It has been caught in a decaying spiral. This means the closer it gets, the faster it falls. It is a terrifying planetary countdown. What took 2 long weeks to travel just 1% of the distance will now take mere days to cross the next 10%. Our world is no longer watching a distant, slow-moving threat. We are all sitting in the front row, watching our own ending play out in slow motion. Here is something most of us never learn in school. The moon does not just control the ocean tides. It is the only reason our entire planet stays stable. For billions of years, its gravity has locked Earth's axis at roughly 23.5 degrees. Without that constant protection, our planet's tilt would spin out of control. We would swing from mild, beautiful seasons to deadly extremes that could freeze whole continents or burn them to the ground within a few thousand years. As the moon spirals closer, this life-saving balance does not just fade away gently, it breaks violently. The Earth begins to wobble like a dying top, losing its speed. Predictable seasons vanish. In some parts of the world, the sun refuses to set for weeks, while in others, an endless, eerie twilight settles in. And then comes the terrifying detail that almost no one ever thinks about. As the moon approaches roughly 11,470 miles from Earth, it crosses a dangerous threshold known as the Roche limit. At this point, the gravitational forces become so extreme that the moon itself cannot hold together anymore. It does not just explode into nothingness. It fractures, piece by piece, breaking apart like a giant jigsaw puzzle in the sky. For a brief, haunting moment, Earth would actually have rings, just like Saturn. But these beautiful rings would be built from the broken bones of our oldest cosmic companion. But the nightmare does not stop there. Soon after, that massive ring of debris begins to fall. For weeks, fragments the size of entire mountains come raining down in a non-stop storm of fire. They burn through the atmosphere, striking oceans and continents alike. This is the ultimate revelation. The true danger was never just the moon crashing into the Earth. The real tragedy is that our world would lose the very balance that made human life possible, long before the first piece of rock ever touches the ground. In the end, this terrifying scenario will almost certainly never happen. The moon is not falling toward us. Its peaceful orbit has been stable for billions of years, and it will remain our quiet, loyal companion for billions more. But asking what if reveals something deeply profound. It shows us something we rarely ever stop to appreciate in our busy daily lives. Every beautiful wave that reaches the shore, every mild, predictable season, and every single stable sunrise we wake up to exists only because of a delicate cosmic balance we did absolutely nothing to earn. We just took it for granted. The moon is not just a random light shining in the darkness. It is the silent, beautiful reason our entire world still makes sense. So tonight, when you step outside, take a moment to look up. When you see it hanging there in the dark sky, so pale and familiar, remember what it is actually doing for you right now. It is holding our tides, steadying our planet, and quietly keeping total chaos at a safe distance. But what if the danger came from a completely different direction? In our next documentary, we are going to uncover the part that nobody is talking about. We will look at what would actually happen to every single living thing on this planet within the very first 10 minutes, if the moon did not fall but simply vanished into thin air. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next story.